Hello everyone, as requested, here is the video tutorial for the Bubu. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications and stay on until the end of the video to see how I tie the invisible belt for the Bubu. Let's begin. So the supplies you're going to need are 4-ply yarn. I've made two different ones using two different 4-ply yarns. This is a cotton bamboo blend and this is acrylic. So the yellow one is acrylic, this one, the other colorful one is cotton bamboo blend. A pair of scissors, tape, a 3.5mm hook and a darning needle. So let me talk about the yarn a little bit because I've made two different colored ones. So the other one I've made that's colorful is a cotton bamboo blend, but it's also 4-ply, so you can also use that. I just did it to test if it would work, so you can use any 4-ply yarn. The measurements you're going to need are as follows. So you're going to need your waist measurement, times 3 less 8. So let's say, for example, your waist measurement is 30 times 3, that will be 90, minus 8, it will be 82. So that will be your width from wrist to wrist. And then you're going to need your sleeve circumference. Divide that by 2. So let's say your sleeve is 12, divided by 2, it will be 6. And then you're going to need the length you want your bubu to be. So you can make this as a top, a short dress, a long bubu like the ones I've made. You measure from the back, from the shoulder of the back, okay, to the length that you need. I can't tell you how long this should be because this is a variable. People are of different heights, so you would want to measure this, right? And that's it. That's all you're going to need. So take the measurements and let's start. To make this, you're only going to need to know the single crochet and the double crochet. However, for the first row, I recommend you make a foundation single crochet because it's going to be a long chain and you don't want to have to undo and redo your chain. So it's always better to make a foundation single crochet, which I'm going to show you now. The number of single crochets you're going to make per size are now put on the screen. If you can't make a foundation single crochet, then make a chain of the same number of single crochets in the foundation stitch plus 1 and then single crochet from the second stitch from the hook. Foundation single crochet just makes it easier for you to work your first row. And when you're working your single crochet, work in the back bumps because we're not going to do a finishing round, so you want it to look nice and neat. So now I'm going to start. I'm going to make a sample. I'm not making the whole thing here. I'm just going to make a sample to start, but you're going to use the number of stitches per the size that you need, okay? I have explained the sizing in the description, so just go have a look. If you have the written pattern, all this is also explained in the written pattern. So to make a foundation single crochet, you start with the slip knot and then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then in the first stitch on the hook you insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. That's your second stitch. So the first 2 chains are your first stitch, and this is your second stitch. To make your third stitch, you look at the back there, you see this V, you put your hook through the V and pull through, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2. That's your stitch number 3. Let's do that again. Go look at the back through both loops of the V, pull through, yarn over and pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through 2. Let's do it a couple of more times. Through the V, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2. Through the V's, pull through, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2. And you're going to continue until you have the number of stitches that you need for foundation row. So you're basically making the single crochet row, right? So I'm making a sample and I'm going to make 39 of this, and I'm going to come back, as I said, based on the size you're making, the number of stitches should have, use the number of stitches that you need based on the size that you're making. And I'll see you when I'm done with my foundation row. So I'm now done with the number of stitches that I need. Again, this will be based on the size that you're making or the calculations that I gave you. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn. In the second stitch, you're going to double crochet, and then you're going to double crochet again in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the third stitch you're going to work 5 double crochets in the same stitch. So you're working a 5 double crochet cluster. So 1 in the same stitch, 2 in the same stitch, 3 in the same stitch, 4 in the same stitch, and 5 in the same stitch. So you will have this cluster. Then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 4th stitch you're going to work a double crochet, and then you're going to work 4 more double crochets in the next 4 stitches. So in the next stitch a double crochet, that's 2. In the next stitch a double crochet, that's 3. In the next stitch a double crochet, 4. In the next stitch a double crochet, that's 5. So you have 5 double crochets. Then you're going to skip 1, 2, and then work a 5 double crochet cluster like you did here. So skip 2, 1, 2, then work a 5 double crochet cluster in the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And similarly, like the way we did here, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, then you're going to skip 2 stitches, you're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 4th stitch you're going to work a double crochet, and then you're going to work a double crochet in the next 4 stitches, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have a total of 5, similar to here. So you're going to repeat this process until you have 4 stitches left. So we're going to skip 2, work
5 double crochet clusters, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have 4 stitches left, and you're going to work a double crochet in each of the last 4 stitches. 2, 3 and 4. So you will always start with a chain 3 and 3 double crochets, making 4, and end with 4 double crochet. That's the beginning of your pattern. Row number 2, which will be the rest of the pattern, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, then work a double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. The chain 3 counts as a stitch. You're going to skip the chain 2 and go into the next stitch and work a 5 double crochet cluster. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then chain 2, 1, 2, then skip all the stitches of a cluster and go to these 5 stitches in the middle and work a double crochet in each one of them. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and then we're going to repeat the same process what we did here. Skip the 2 chains and work a 5 double crochet cluster in the next stitch. 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then skip all the stitches in the cluster and work double crochets in each of the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4 and 5, and you're going to repeat this until you have your 4 stitches left at the end. So skip the 2 chains, work a 5 double crochet cluster, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain 2, and again, as I say, you just repeat until you're at the end of the row, and then when you chain 2 at the end of a row, you work a double crochet in each of the 4 double crochet stitches. 3 and 4. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and turn. So the rest of the pattern is just a repetition of row 3. So we're just going to be repeating row 3 until you get that length I'm talking about, from your shoulder to the length that you want. So I'm just gonna work one more row with you. So 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2, 3, then skip 2, then work a 5 double crochet cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, then chain 2, 1 and 2, then work a double crochet, skip all the stitches on the cluster and work a double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then chain 2, then skip the stitches in the cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work 1 double crochet in each of the 5 stitches. 3, 4 and 5. Then skip the chain 2 and work a 5 double crochet cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Chain 2 and then skip these 4 stitches in the cluster and work a double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then skip the next 2 stitches and work a 5 double crochet cluster. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then continue until at the end, and then at the end you work your 4 double crochets, 3 and 4. And as I said, you're just going to repeat row 3 until you have your length from the shoulder to whatever length you want. That you have to determine and measure yourself. Make 2 pieces, one for the front and one for the back, and then we're going to come back and join together. Right, so I want to share a few tips with you for making this piece. So the first tip is make the 2 pieces concurrently. This I do to avoid what I call project fatigue, because you would make the first piece and it's long and finished, and now you have to start the second piece, and you may just be like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to work the foundation row, so I'm just going to put it aside. So to guarantee that I finish, I work both pieces at the same time based on the ball of yarn or the ball of yarn or the skein of yarn. So if I'm working with a ball of yarn like this, I'll work like for this one I'm working 2 balls of yarn and then switch to the other piece and work 2 balls of yarn. But with the skeins like this one, I would work 1 skein of yarn and then switch and work and start the other piece and work. So I'm working and work the other piece. So I'm working concurrently, I'm working both pieces at the same time to ensure that I finish them at the same time. This yarn though, I get it already in bits and pieces rolled up like this and knotted already. So I'm not knotting or weaving in ends or anything like that. It's already knotted. So I would, if you're going to do something like this using leftover yarn, you want to join it and roll it into a ball before you start working with it, so you don't have all these ends weaved in, right? And then the second thing is, you see these 5 stitches. So sometimes you may end up with 4 by mistake. It happens. I've made that mistake. I'm not yeah, I can't even see it, but I made that mistake where I have like 4 stitches, sometimes 6 stitches. I don't bother to undo, I just correct in the next row. I just make sure that I correct in the next row. So it's just constant checking as you work along to see if you missed a stitch or added a stitch. Just make sure that you correct in the next row and maintain the 5 here. you're gonna be fine. Same with the clusters, right? Same with the clusters. You're supposed to have 5 clusters here, but sometimes you end up with 4, sometimes you end up with 6. Just correct in the next row to make sure that you have 5. The only time I would undo if, let's say, I made 3 or 2, because they will look too thin and they won't look nice. But if I've done 4, I'll just leave it. If I've done 6, I'll just leave it. I don't correct it. I just move on with my project. So these are the 2 tips that I wanted to share with you for making this piece. And then I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to finish my piece. I am making mine 56 inches. I'm short, so I'm making mine 56 inches, but you can make yours as long as you want. And then we're going to come back and join the 2 pieces together. So I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, so I'm done with my 2 pieces. This is the short version. I'm just going to try it out. So I thought when I'm trying it out, I should just show you how to join the ends. If I don't like it, I'll make it long and then finish the sleeves. So what you do is you lay it flat, and to join the 2 pieces together, it's quite long, to join the 2 pieces together. To measure the sleeve opening, you can use a tape. The circumference of your sleeve, divide by 2, and then you put a stitch marker to join both sides. The number of rows for each side is now put on the screen, and it's also available in the written pattern. So you do this for both sides because we're going to join the rest and leave for the sleeve opening. For the neck opening, what you're going to do is you're going to find the center of your piece. So the number of stitches, divide that by 2. I would put a stitch marker, then measure half of the neck opening on one side, put a stitch marker, and measure half on the other side and put a stitch marker. In the written pattern, it shows you exactly how to do that. And then on the sleeves, you will join with a stitch marker the same way you did on the other side. And then we're going to join. Joining this is we're going to join on the right side of the piece. So your piece will be joined on the right side. To join the pieces, what you're going to do is, when you work your last row, you don't join. When you work your last row, you don't cut your yarn. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work single crochet to the stitch marker. So I'm going to slip stitch into the other piece like this, and pull through, and then chain 1, work a single crochet in the same stitch. All right, and then we're going to work a single crochet in the same row, right? So we have this double crochet row where we're chaining 3. So what you're going to do is you're going to work 2 single crochets per row. So 1 and 2, and then go to the next row, work 2 single crochets, 1 and 2 in the next row as well. So you're just going to continue 2 single crochets until you get to the stitch marker When you get to the stitch marker, you're going to chain 1 and turn and work another row of single crochet. This one is just to make this work look neat. So you're going to single crochet in the same stitch and then just single crochet in each of the stitches, and once you're done, you're going to cut your yarn and do the same on the other side. So I've joined my sides, right? As I said, this is your right side. To join the shoulders, you have to now turn your piece to the wrong side, to the wrong side. So I'm just going to turn my piece to the wrong side, right? And now I'm going to join the shoulders, leaving the neck opening open. So you have to join from the neck opening to the sleeve so that you don't need to cut new yarn to finish your sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join my yarn here where I have a stitch marker, and you can join whichever way. No, I'm going to join my yarn in the next stitch after the stitch marker. So in the next stitch after the stitch marker, join your yarn as you normally do, right? This is what I do. I pull through, chain 1, and then work a single crochet in the same stitch. And then you're going to work a single crochet in each of the stitches, making sure through each of the stitches, making sure it's aligned. I'm just going to carry my yarn so I don't have to weave it in later. So I'm just going to work through both sides because we're joining through all the stitches until you are at the end of the row. So I'm going to continue off camera and I'm going to come back when I get at the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, don't cut your yarn. We're going to use it to finish off the sleeve opening. When you get to the end, on the shoulders, we're only going to do one row of single crochet since this is the wrong side and it doesn't have to look neat. So when you get to the end of the shoulder of your joining, you're going to chain 1, right? And then we're going to work around 2 rounds of single crochet around the sleeve opening, turning after each round. So I'm going to start by working a single crochet in the same stitch and then work 2 single crochet per row. So 1, 2, in the next row 1, 2, in the next row 1, 2, and continue all around the sleeve opening. And when you get to the end of a row, you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work another round of single crochet just to finish this off. So you start with a single crochet in the same stitch and just work a single crochet all around the sleeves, and once you're done, you cut your yarn, weave in the ends and do the same on the other side of the sleeve. I'm not going to work the bottom because it is already pretty and looks finished. To join the straps, so we're going to work an invisible strap which you tie around your body but not through the back. So you tie it around your body but it doesn't come through the back so nobody can see it. just to cinch up your waist a little bit. And you do this on your upper waist. So if you want, you can take your measurement from your shoulder to your upper waist. Remember, this is yarn, so it wraps, so it may not be exact. In the written pattern, I have worked the straps separately and then joined them, but here we're going to join them directly to the work, right? That's what we're going to do. And the stitches where you have to join the straps are indicated on the screen right now. So turn your work to the wrong side, right? And then find the stitches as put on the screen. You're gonna see those stitches based on your size. Find the stitches and then go into that loop. So you're not going through all the way to the back, because remember, we don't want to see this belt. So you're just going to go through the back loop, the loop that you can see there on your wrong side, and pull your yarn, and then chain 1 and work a single crochet through those loops, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's your first stitch of the strap. Then you're going to go to the next stitch, find those 2 loops at the back and work a double crochet, yarn over, work a double crochet through those 2 loops, and then go to the 3rd stitch, work a double crochet both through the 2 loops. Just make sure I'm just carrying over my yarn so I can like weave it in. Just make sure you're not going through all the way to the back. You're working these loops that you see here. So there's a loop there and a loop there. Work your double crochet. That's stitch number 3. Number 4, you do the same through that loop. There's 2 loops, 1, 2, and then number 5, you work through those loops. Okay, so you've got your 5 stitches for your strap, and then you're going to work all the way to the top. I'm just going to make sure that I don't see, you don't see those stitches here. They're nice and hidden. Okay, great. So what we do now is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn, and work a row of double crochet. So you're going to work 4 double crochets, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 5 double crochets. The first chain 3 counts as a stitch, and you're going to continue 1, 2, 3, chain 3 and turn until your strap is the size of your waist, the full size of your waist. So if your waist is 32 inches, you're going to work your strap until it's 32 inches, just to make sure that you have enough to tie with. And when you're done with that, you go to the other side and work and repeat this process, and that's it, and you would have done your invisible straps. I will show you at the end how to tie these belt, this invisible belt. Okay, so I'm just going to continue off camera, and once you're done with this, you're done. You can cut, you can weave in all your ends if you still